This is Dr. Pramod from Hyderabad, Dean Mallareddy University. I'm going to speak Journey of a Soul in this conference. The Vedic scriptures concepts say spirituality, body and soul, karma, rebirth, transmigration of a soul, purpose of a soul, attain liberation. To achieve liberation, moksha, soul passes through different bodies and lokas as per the good and bad activities performed in the life. This paper deals about universe, lokas, higher lokas, lower lokas, living entities, transmigration of a soul, karma, soul, and journey of a soul, flow chart based on karma, spiritual energy of the soul, flow chart based on energy of the soul, journey to higher lokas, journey to lower lokas, soul class. That is the important going to speak and conclusion. Now, there are, as per Padma Puranam says, there are 84 living entities are there. We'll take a birth continuously in that living entities form. So there are 4 lakhs of humans are there. Now, what is the soul? Soul is basically part and parcel of Supreme Lord. All living entities possess body and soul. Invisible things permanent, whereas visible things are temporary. Body is temporary, soul is a permanent. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Soul is present, it is invisible. Soul is energy contained body. It contains good and bad energy, vasanas. And basically, it is on the conservation of laws in physics. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, but converts from one form to another form. Now, soul is moving randomly in the space within the different bodies. Soul looks for the body, whereas body looks for the soul also. Aim of the soul is to unite with Supreme Father. The prerequisite conditions to go to the Supreme Abode are, we must be pure souls. Pure and pure souls are required to go to the moksha. And uncontaminated souls. No expectations. Don't expect anything. Complete detachment from the material objects. Must be only spiritual attachment. Complete attachment to spiritual objects. What is karma? Karma is basically a thought, a talk, or a word, deed. Karma is an activity that is basically called a cause and effect. This is nothing but action and reaction as per the universe laws. In fact, we already said, Vedic scriptures already explained the karma theory, cause and effect. Then, karma is a philosophical word, spiritual and material objects, good deeds with a good karma, bad deeds with a bad karma. Birth and death cycle continues as per the karma. Good deeds go to the higher levels. Bad deeds go to the lower levels. If the bad karma is 0, soul goes to the Supreme Abode. These are nothing but the preconditions to go to attain the moksha. Now, journey of a soul I'm going to talk. So, soul is a journey, spark of the Supreme Lord, started journey from the Supreme Lord about long back. We don't know when we started, and we don't know when you're going to meet him. Journey is continuing, moving randomly, aimlessly. At present, the red position in the figure shows that. See, the past we're coming. This is the present we are here. Future we are going. This is called a journey of the soul. We don't know when we born. We don't know when we are going to meet it. Goes one body to another body. Enters the body at the time of birth. Leaves the body at the time of death. Do not know when the journey started. Do not know when it ends. Now, meet and break up journey. People come, meet, and stay together. Relationship exists as a husband, wife, children, parents, and relatives and friends. Meet with unknown and good and bad persons. Interact with many animals. Perform a number of different karmic activities during the life period. Is good and bad karma. Break. When a death comes, all get separated. Thus, the human life is like a meet and break journey. Now, Supreme Abode. What is Supreme Abode? It's a Vaikuntham. It's a place of Supreme Lord, merging with the Supreme, liberation, moksha, destination point of all living entities, place of pure souls. Once entered, we never return back. Purpose of all Vedas and spirituality activities to unite with the Supreme Father. The main purpose, all Vedas scriptures only to go to attain the moksha, to merge with Supreme Lord. That's the purpose of life. No, higher levels, place of Devatas, temporary places. Once entered, we will come back. These are higher levels, we can come back. Narkaloka, place of hellish beings, criminals and miscreants, killing people, murders, thieves. This is the place for Narkaloka. Severe punishments are given for their bad activities. Now, Transmigration soul I'm going to talk. Soul and karma both are interrelated. Aim of soul is to go to Supreme Abode and meet Supreme Father. When soul enters a body, birth takes place. When a soul leaves the body, death takes place. Soul stays for a certain period in the body. Body does good and bad deeds. Body decays. Body dies. Soul looks for a new body as per the vasanas as energy of soul. Souls enter into similar bodies as per the previous karmas. Birth and death continues till attain liberation. Now, I'm going to talk about the flow chart based on karma. This is my main work of this one. Soul started the journey from the Supreme World long back, traveling through different lokas, L1, L2, L3. This is the flow chart with good G and bad karma. In this one loka, L1, there are green lights, green and blue are there, red. So green is a good activity, red is a bad activity. If a person does the good activities, you go to the L2 loka. Then in this one, we have the two good practice. If a person does another good activity, he will go to the different loka and he will continue like this. This is the place you get the spiritual world, all good activities will be there. If you do any good or bad activity, come back to your lokas. But if a person does continuously good activities, directly go to the spiritual world also. Then you come back. So this is a flow chart for the soul going from one level to another level. Now, flow chart based on soul energy. Soul travels from one body to another depending on the difference of ED, energy at depth, and input energy, output energy. I am using the physics here. E is equal to h of Planck's equation, h is equal to lambda. H is called a Planck's constant, c the velocity of light. The difference of spiritual energy at the depth of death. When we die, what is the spiritual energy you have it? What is energy when you take a burn? That is delta E. Difference for spiritual energy, ED minus EB, is a determining factor, parameter. There exist three possibilities. If delta is energy greater than zero, soul goes to higher planets. If delta is less than zero, soul remains in the same planet. If delta is zero, soul goes to the lower planets. Now, this is a flow chart based on the positive energy of the souls. Journey of a soul to higher lokas. If the change in energy, the energy difference between at the time of death and the time of birth, that's the delta E. If greater than zero, the soul can migrate to Supreme Abode SA. Here you can see that. This is the part directly you can go to the Supreme Abode. If delta is slightly less than zero, the soul can migrate to the different lokas. Here you can go from here to this lokas. You can go to this lokas, this spiritual world. Here from you can go. If you make any mistake, come back here. Whereas this one is a permanent one. If delta is less than zero from your bhuloka, and you can come back to here. The soul will fall back to the bhuloka from spiritual world. If delta is equal to zero, the energy, the time of death, energy of death, both are same. The soul remains on the material world. This is the flow chart based on this one. This is the spiritual world. This is the narka lokas. Then journey to lower lokas, negative energy. If delta E is much less than soul, the soul will fall from the bhuloka to the hellish planets. These are the hellish planets. And if delta is much less than zero, the soul will fall directly from the bhuloka to patala loka. You can go back to patala loka. Different lokas are there. If delta is less than zero, soul can migrate from hellish planets to patala loka. If you make some good activities here, you can go to the bhuloka again here. So hellish planets and patala loka. Patala loka is the lowest one. And dead people are there. When miscreant people are there, they get punishment. If delta is much greater than zero, the soul will be afflicted directly from the hellish planet to bhuloka. Here is it. Directly you can go to this one. This is a flow chart based on the soul energy. Energy between the death and birth. Now, I'm talking about soul class. It's a new concept. As per the Vedic philosophy, I read in the different books, there are three types of class of times. One is spiritual time, material time, and casual time, soul time, soul clock. It's an imaginary clock placed on the head like a crown. The center of the clock is connected to the spinal cord. Spiritual time is shorter than material time. 1 year in Bhuloka is equivalent to 1 day in Pitruloka. Material time is external time. The sunrise to sunset is called for living entities in Bhuloka. Casual time is basically called internal time. Now, soul clock materialistic people notice the lifespan is very long, whereas it appears very short for the yogic people. Time for a soul per birth is different for time for the people. In other words, it is the same as the age of person. See, when you're human beings, 120 years. If you take a birth as a dog, maybe 15 years. If you take as a cat, maybe different years. So the age of the soul, age of the person of the birth of that person is different. Now, this is a casual time soul. The soul clock contains the two hands. Minutes hand completes one rotation. This is the minutes hand. This is the minutes hand. This is the hand, hour hand. Minutes hand completes one rotation, which is equivalent to the age of person. If this completes one, it completes one birth, one age, one soul journey. Hour hand moves the one division of the one birth. This is the hour and minutes time. Hour hand moves in one division for one birth. Total number of divisions in a clock are equivalent to total number of births of a soul taken from the time of creation to the time of liberation. Number of divisions on the clock is equal to number of births, that's the N. So you have taken me these many births you have taken from the starting journey from the abode, supreme abode to taking a birth, going back to the supreme abode. Now, each division represents the time of one soul, life period of one age, of soul one birth. Time is different for different births. I've taken a birth of the cat, my life period is different. Taken an ant, different birth. So, assume that there are n births I have taken, and the time for each birth is T1, T2, T3, T4. Thus, the total time for all the births of one soul is given T1 plus T2 plus T3, and total is the summation of Ti. So, this is the total time which is spent from the taking a birth from the spiritual Lord and going back to the merging with the supreme abode. So, T is equal to summation of Ti. T represents the lifetime of a particular soul. That's the time for journey soul. Total time spent by an individual soul outside the supreme abode is the time for journey soul. In other words, total time spent by the individual soul from one time of creation to the time of joining back supreme abode, from the birth to the liberation, that's the total time. And in the total time, we have taken number of births. Same soul take number of births. So thus, clock gets stopped when the soul merges with the Supreme Lord. Once you merge the Supreme Lord, the clock gets stopped. Then, the soul clock measures the number of rebirths of soul and the time spent by the individual soul away from the Supreme Abode. This would certainly enlighten the scientists to explore further, to study and design the equipment to measure spiritual energy. That is my topic. That is my objective, to find the spiritual energy from the at a death. What is the energy you have at the time of death, and what is the time of birth you have it? The difference will tell you that will do the next birth. That is my main aim of the topic. So, journey of a soul. So, we require two things to achieve anything. Dedication and devotion are two successful parameters. Thank you for giving the opportunity to in the conference. I could not attend the meeting personally, but I am present the talk on hybrid mode. Any questions are most welcome, sir. Thank you.